I sometimes wonder if my boyfriend will find me disgusting, especially if I tell him I'm attracted to girls as well. And honestly, sometimes I find myself disgusting because this is quite an unusual struggle. It's like, why can't you just stop? Brenda, like, why can't you just stop doing all these things and like desiring something that you know that it's wrong, people around you don't do it, and yet you can't stop.
You've never been so good to me.
Being true and transparent was something that was very foreign to me growing up, because every day I would be beaten or bullied, and it was something that made me feel like I was very worthless, because why would anyone treat me this way unless I was truly trash, So as a child growing up, I didn't know how to process it. I just knew there was a lot of pain physically and emotionally. So all I could do was just think of how to end it. Every time I tried to die, it was never the right dose, or when my mind decided to move to death's door, there would be an inexplicable but familiar force that would guide my body to a counselor's office. By 15, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, but I managed to be cured of that diagnosis after a few sessions because I was an expert mask juggler, or what they would call a high-functioning depressive. I could juggle family, friendship, and societal expectations of me using the right emotional currency, and emerge a scholar at that. My environment taught me that relationships were always a transaction. And yeah, I just think, okay, love is clearly transactional, and all these talk about unconditional love is just human beings trying to make themselves feel better, because it's just not what I see. Yet I yearn to be told that I was not a mistake, not a burden, that I was beautiful, cherished, and worth not abandoning. I do not know if it was because of the lack of affirmation that I eventually romanticized attention from both men and women. I remember being sexually awoken as early as 5 or 6 years old. At that age, I began masturbating, fixing my attention on both male and female. As I got older, my porn habits went both ways as well. Life went on fine as long as I avoided the topic of my sexuality. I know how to smile, I know how to laugh hysterically, but it feels like, there was this Brenda trapped inside, like in a wall. And then there was this Brenda outside the wall that was just interacting with all these people, but no one really knew, like, the kid that was just screaming inside. After a really difficult night, just seeing a lot of violence, and I remember crying out to God to just kill me, because I thought that was the only way. And instead of killing me, he came and he smiled at me, which was rare. Yeah, I don't think I received a lot of that. So I remember the smile, I remember the sense of peace, the sense of safety. As I journeyed with God, I'm not saying my struggles evaporated in seconds, but I encountered a God who would woo me, a kind God who restored and healed my memories of hurt one by one. He lifted my shame, and there was nothing I could do to transact that kind of love. Now, I will tell my future spouse that I might still find some girls attractive, but it stops there. I will tell him that I want to commit to loving him above others, and above all, I want true love to be at the center of our marriage.
No shadow